Respect is one of those things that's easy to talk about, but hard to pin down, especially when it comes to relationships between men and women. We all want to be respected, but what does it really mean to be a man who commands respect? It's not just about how you carry yourself or what you wear. It's about a deeper sense of character and how you interact with others. When a man is truly respected by women, it's not because he's trying to impress them, but because he's being his authentic self. But here is the unsettling paradox. Modern dating advice tells men to be nice, to be accommodating, to constantly prove their worth through acts of service and unwavering agreement. You are told this is the path to being valued. Yet, so often, this very behavior leads not to deep respect, but to being taken for granted, to becoming an invisible fixture, a comfortable placeholder. Your compliance is met with indifference, your sacrifices with a quiet erosion of your own stature. Why? Why does the prescribed formula for earning regard so consistently backfire, leaving you feeling like a ghost in your own relationship? This creates a profound existential tension. You are following the rules, yet the promised reward remains perpetually out of reach. It feels like a cruel joke of the universe. Is there a fundamental flaw in the blueprint we've been given? What if the entire premise, that respect is earned through relentless approval seeking, is a catastrophic misunderstanding of the very nature of attraction and power? The answer does not lie in becoming a different kind of nice, but in uncovering a more primal, more formidable kind of strength, one that the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche saw not as brutality, but as a terrifying and beautiful form of self-mastery. This is the first, crucial step into a darker, more truthful understanding of what it means to become a man who is genuinely, irrevocably respected. This relentless erosion of respect is not a personal failing, but the symptom of a deeper, more insidious sickness of the soul. You have been conditioned to seek your value externally, in the approving gaze of another, and in doing so, you have willingly surrendered your own inner authority. This is the hidden problem, a self-betrayal so complete you no longer recognize the chains you wear. You have become what Friedrich Nietzsche diagnosed as the last man, a creature concerned only with comfort and security, bleeding a little pleasure now, a little pleasure later, utterly devoid of the fire required to command a genuine, thrilling regard. Carl Jung would point to the shadow at play here. In your desperate attempt to be only good, only agreeable, you have severed your connection to your own primal, assertive, and sometimes disruptive nature. You have locked away the very parts of yourself that project substance and conviction. A woman's respect is not killed by your kindness, but by the weakness that so often masquerades as it. The inability to hold a boundary, the fear of conflict, the desperate need to be liked that screams of inner poverty. You have made yourself safe, predictable, and therefore insignificant. This is the psychological trap. You are following a societal script designed to create docile men, not respected ones. You have been taught to amputate your own will to power, not in the vulgar sense of domination over others, but in the Nietzschean sense of the drive to overcome oneself, to become a master of one's own chaos. By refusing this struggle, you become a passive object in our world, not an active force to be reckoned with. But what is the true, unspoken cost of living this way, of remaining in this self-imposed cage? The consequences are more devastating than you have allowed yourself to see. The consequence of this self-abandonment is a quiet psychological holocaust. It is not merely that you are not respected. It is that your very reality begins to shrink and distort. You become a ghost in the machine of your own life, haunted by a pervasive sense of inauthenticity. Every suppressed opinion, every unenforced boundary, every time you swallow your truth to maintain a fragile peace, you are not being nice. You are committing a subtle act of self-annihilation. This is the great unseen tragedy. The man who seeks approval above all else systematically erases himself until only a hollowed-out shell, a pleasing phantom, remains. Neurologically, You are conditioning your own brain for passivity. Each time you choose compliance over conviction, you strengthen the neural pathways of subservience, making it harder to access the assertiveness that genuine connection demands. You are quite literally rewiring yourself for irrelevance. Culturally, this conditioning is a self-perpetuating trap. It creates men who are easy to manage, but impossible to truly adore. Men who form relationships not of passionate mutual respect, but of quiet, simmering resentment and transactional convenience. This is the silent, desperate prison. You feel the weight of your own unlived life, a dull ache that persists beneath the surface of your daily routines. You have traded the terrifying freedom to be yourself for the false security of being accepted, only to find that the acceptance offered to a phantom is utterly meaningless. But if this is the prison, what is the key? Is there a way to shatter these chains, not through force, but through a radical and rebellious shift in consciousness? The rebellion begins not with a roar directed at the world, but with a whisper of defiance within your own soul. It is a declaration that you will no longer be an echo of societal expectations. You will become your own cause. This is not about becoming a domineering alpha, but about embodying what Nietzsche called the Übermensch, not a superman, but the overman, the one who overcomes his own conditioned, comfortable, and compliant self. The rebellion is to stop seeking respect from others and to instead become a being who, by his very nature, commands it. This is the ultimate counterintuitive solution. The more you desperately seek respect, the more you repel it. The more you cultivate an unshakable self-respect, the more magnetically it draws others. This requires a ruthless commitment to what Viktor Frankl identified as the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. It means embracing the discomfort of your own power. It is choosing the hard truth over the easy lie. It is holding a boundary with calm, unyielding firmness, not as a punishment, but as a proclamation of your own worth. It is pursuing a vision for your life with such single-minded passion that your approval becomes a secondary concern. You are no longer a supplicant begging for validation at the feast of life. You become a master craftsman, too engrossed in your own great work to notice who is, who isn't applauding. This is how you break the cycle. You stop performing and start being. You trade the fragile mask of niceness for the unshakable foundation of integrity. But this leads to one final, terrifying, and liberating question. If this self-mastered man is the one who is truly respected, what is the ultimate, non-negotiable truth that separates him from the crowd of desperate seekers forever? The ultimate truth is this: respect was never something to be received, but something to be emanated. It is not a transaction, but a radiation. The man who is respected is not he who has perfected a set of behaviors to elicit the desired response from a woman. He is the man who is engaged in a lifelong war with his own mediocrity and has chosen to embrace a sacred personal responsibility for his own existence. This is the core of Nietzsche's philosophy, the will to power as the will to self-overcoming. The final, most powerful realization is that a woman's respect is merely a reflection, an inevitable echo of the profound and unshakable respect you hold for the man you see in the mirror. This redefines everything. Your struggle ceases to be about winning her favor and becomes about building a life so compelling, so authentically yours, that her presence in it is a choice, not a necessity. You are not a beggar at the banquet. You are the host. This is the paradigm shift. The respect you craved was always a ghost, a shadow cast by the absence of your own self-love. When you become a sovereign individual, a value creator rather than a value seeker, you step into a reality where respect is not requested, but assumed, a quiet, unspoken force field of character. Let this truth haunt you. Let it dismantle the old world of neediness and build a new one of purpose. The journey does not end with being respected by her. It begins the moment you decide, irrevocably, that you are worthy of your own respect. Everything else is just a consequence. If you've made it this far, I want to hear from you. What do you think makes a man truly respected by women? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're interested in building more meaningful relationships, be sure to check out my next video on how to connect with others on a deeper level.